Former eThekwini Mayor Zandile Gumede has pleaded not guilty in the fraud and corruption case against her and 21 others. The case is underway in the High Court in Durban. Gumede and her co-accused face multiple charges related to a 300 million rand Durban Solid Waste tender. The charges include conspiracy to commit corruption, fraud, money laundering and the contravention of the Municipal Finance Management Act. The case involves an alleged irregular 320 million rand Durban Solid Waste tender in 2017. Previously, the financial woes of some of the accused delayed the start of the trial. All of the accused have now pleaded not guilty. Well, for more on this story, we cross now to my colleague Jayed Paulse, who has been covering proceedings. A very good afternoon, Jayed. So everyone basically pleaded not guilty. Tell us more.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Nompu, and to the viewers. Yes, and it has been a stop-start affair, as you would know if you've been following the case for the past 2 years, since 2017. But to just unpack this more for us, I am joined by the National Prosecuting Authority spokesperson, Natasha Curry, just to break it down for us. Natasha, it's been quite a lengthy stop-start affair. Finally, the trial starting now. It was supposed to start last month, but just take us through the counts.
Well, the accused are facing various counts of the charges, but essentially it's charges of money laundering, racketeering, contravention of the Municipal Finance Act, contravention of the Municipal Systems Act, as well as fraud and corruption.
Now, we imagine that it's going to be quite a long day because they have to read all the counts into the system. How will this, how will this happen with 22 accused?
Well, as I mentioned, there are so many accused. However, the processes are still the same. We're pleased as a state that the trial is finally underway, and this is just the first process where the indictment has to be read into the record, and the charges then have to be put to the accused, and then they have to plead, tender their plea in that regard. And then there's also the issue of the fact that there's a translation that needs to be held, so that will also just take a bit longer than usual.
Natasha, there are more than 2,000 criminal charges. How long will it take for the judge to go over each of these charges, and when could we see the actual arguments of trial begin?
In previous court appearances, dates were spoke about for next year, which is 2023 March, I think, to be exact. So obviously this is the first stage to get the charges read, and then thereafter obviously looking to next year for the actual trial.
Many have been also asking, why has it taken such a long time to get to this point, Natasha? If you're going to talk to us about the length of this trial and the date that has been set, will we actually meet that? I know it was supposed to be set down for a few weeks.
Well, initially, when you did start the session, the state was ready to proceed with trial, but there were so many applications in between, and also issues regarding finance. That was one of the major issues where various accused were not in a position financially to proceed, and obviously one couldn't prejudice them. So, as you mentioned, a stop-and-start approach, and we're so pleased that we're finally here.
And then we had the challenges of getting our cameras into court as well. There was another issue.
That application is still to be heard by the court. Fortunately, today a camera was allowed into court, but as I said, we're still waiting for that application.
Natasha, thank you so much for speaking to us. Well, that was Natasha Curry, the NPA spokesperson, just talking about some of the issues that we have been experiencing while covering this trial, Zandile Gumede and 21 other co-accused. But as it stands now, she's allegedly said to be the ringleader with that embezzlement of funds while she was the former mayor of eThekwini municipality. 320 million rand tender. It was the Durban Solid Waste tender that was awarded to her and several other of the companies, as well as a councillor that was also involved. And they were basically allegedly running this embezzlement, a fraudulent ringleading. We're just listening to the state. They said that conducting a unlawful enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activities, and this has been going on since 2017 until 2019, Nompu, when they were apprehended by police. But Zandile Gumede pleading not guilty there to charges of racketeering as well. As you heard the NPA saying there are other counts that will be read in. It's going to be a lengthy procedure. We're not sure if we're going to finish at the end of this day. A lot of charges, over 2,000 charges on that indictment. So it really remains to be seen whether we will complete all of those counts by the end of this day, Nompu.
Thanks very much, my colleague there, Jayed Paulse.